So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, really bad news has emerged, late on Monday. Sorry, let me just get this camera right. So really bad news has emerged that apparently Deontay Wilder has won. Oh, not bad news, but good for Deontay Wilder, but bad for British boxing fans, that Wilder has won the court case. And now Fury and Joshua is in serious jeopardy. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions been raised. Is this why the fight was taking so long to be announced? Did Fury and his team know that this was going to be an issue? But now we do know that Fury has to fight Deontay Wilder before 15 September. Now, what are the implications if he doesn't and he goes ahead with the Joshua fight? Will that mean that he has to vacate the WBC title? Is there further implications? No one really knows at this current moment. I know they'll most likely, I think, if it's 15 September, right, there's no way that fight could go ahead 16th August because Fury won't be able to fight Wilder before 16th of September if he fights 15th of August. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fury is stripped of the WBC belt if he decides to go ahead with the Joshua fight. Also, this could be resolved with Wilder's team, because obviously if Fury and his team get in contact with Wilder's team, which they will have to, they may be able to resolve it by giving step-aside money. But I've just saw an interview with IFL TV with Gareth Davis, and Umar, who was conducting the interview, said he's heard that it's not about money for Deontay Wilder. It's deeper than that. So if that's the case, then no amount of money, step-aside money, is going to be enough. Plus, we know that Fury and Joshua probably get 60, 70 million to fight each other. The problem is if now Fury has to give 10, 15 million away, why would he want to do that? Why would he want to give 10, 15 million of his purse away? It doesn't make any sense. So even if there is step-aside money, because Wilder can ask for whatever, right? And like I said, it might not be about money for Wilder. Like they said on the interview, it may not be about money. It may be about pride, about beating Fury in the third fight. So to me personally, I think there's going to be, I think there's a problem here. And I always thought there was a problem. I always said to you guys when I made a video about this that it never felt right to me. It never felt like this fight was going to happen. It didn't seem the time was right. I didn't get a feeling that it was going to happen. But, the way things were going, and it looked like everything was all good. However, it does look like now that Wilder winning that court case has put the spanner in the works. Because let's not forget, there's a lot of implications here. If Fury has to vacate the WBC title, Joshua wants to be undisputed. That now means he can't be undisputed. And we all know that that's what Joshua was gunning for, to become undisputed. He wants to be undisputed, probably a lot more than Fury. Fury's always said, I've won all the belts, I don't really care, I just want to fight. Whereas Joshua, it was about becoming undisputed, having all the belts. So he'll be off-put by that. He'll definitely be put off by that, because for him, like I said, he wants to win all of the belts. And that put a spanner in the works, because now Fury may have to vacate that. So is he willing to go ahead with that? I reckon he'll fight Tyson Fury anyway, because the fight will be so big. But the problem is, like I said, there may be further implications which we don't know. So for example, if Fury goes ahead, maybe Wilder may be able to sue him. Maybe there may be financial implications. Maybe there might be financial implications for the broadcasters that put on the fight. You see, you don't know that. And that's the problem here. That there could be further implications which may stop the fight as well. Not just the fact that he has to vacate the WBC, because that's a small thing. If he has to vacate the WBC, he'll vacate the WBC. But now will Joshua now say, you know what, you don't have a belt. So now I've got 3 belts and you're fighting, I'm not taking a 50-50 split. See, all of the things change. There's a lot of implications as a result of this. If he is to be stripped, there's a lot of things. Eddie Hearn always said Eddie Hearn was basically saying, right, that they're very negative from their side, but I'm trying my hardest to make this fight happen. But is this why Frank Warren and Bob Arum were taking a backward step? Because they knew what was going on, or Bob Arum knew what was going on, so he didn't bother. I don't know. I don't know, but this looks like it's put a spanner in the works, because Wilder winning the court case, we don't know what the implications are. If the implications are just vacating the WBC, then it's not a big issue. But if it's more than that, then I don't know. I don't think the fight happens. I think Joshua Fury's off. I think it's off. I even said before that it didn't smell right to me. It didn't seem right. I always got the feeling that this fight wasn't going to happen. It just didn't seem right. Just the timing, the fact that we're in a pandemic, it didn't seem right to me. It didn't seem right at all. And to be honest with you, with this news coming out with the Wilder news coming out this evening, I think there's a great chance that Wilder Fury is probably the next fight. I can't see Tyson Fury AJ happening now, because like I said, I think I'm just speculating. I don't know. I reckon there may possibly be some other implications, you know, not just the fact that if it's just a vacation of the WBC belt and Tyson Fury has to fight Deontay Wilder by September 16th for the WBC title, I'd assume if Fury goes ahead with the fight with Joshua, then the WBC will have to strip him, and Wilder will fight for the vacated belt, or fight for a vacant belt, the vacant WBC belt against probably the #1 challenger, which may be against Dillian Whyte, which may be an interesting fight as well, and that opens things up. So that makes it fun as well, but my inkling is I'm not sure this fight happens. I get the feeling that Tyson Fury may fight Deontay Wilder again. That's my feeling. I don't know. And that's the feeling I always had, really. And I think that makes it very uncomfortable for me as a British fight fan, because Joshua's then going to have to fight somebody else as well. Now, Usyk is there waiting in the background, and these are very hard fights. There's no guarantee that Fury's going to win against Wilder. And most concerning, there's no guarantee that Joshua's going to beat Usyk. That's more dangerous for me than even Wilder Fury. So, a lot of things, there's a lot. See, if this fight doesn't happen now, we may never get it. Because if Joshua ends up losing to Usyk or Fury ends up losing to Wilder, all of a sudden everything's up in the air. Because Fury fighting Wilder is no foregone conclusion, and Usyk fighting Joshua is definitely no foregone conclusion. So, I personally think that let's see. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't know. We need Eddie Hearn to come out and give an interview, Bob Arum to come out and give an interview, but it does raise a few questions. The fact that Eddie Hearn was always saying from his side that the fight's done, and then Bob Arum and Frank Warren not really being open about it, and the fact that Tyson Fury has not really signed his side of the contract. That's what we heard, that Tyson Fury's not signed his end of the deal. But nobody really thought that the Wilder stuff was holding it up, even though we knew that was there. We knew the Wilder situation was there, but nobody really thought that was stopping it. But now, after Wilder winning the court case, I like to think that Eddie Hearn, don't get me wrong, Eddie Hearn must have been aware of that situation though. So is it the fact that Eddie Hearn's in the dark about that situation? He doesn't know what's going on? Because he is a guy that strikes me that knows everything that's going on. So I don't know. Until Eddie Hearn comes out and gives an interview, we won't know the full details to what's going on. But Eddie Hearn's probably right now working what's going on, what's happening, because he basically confirmed the fight's happening. But again, let's not forget, I did say that Fury still hasn't signed the contract and there's been no official announcement. And we were expecting an announcement this week. But now with this Fury Wilder stuff, I don't know. It's all up in the air, and I think there's a great chance that Fury Joshua won't happen this year. And like I said, I don't think the timing was right. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and for a fight of that magnitude to be happening, I don't think it really matters whether we're in a pandemic or not in terms of where the fight's happening in Saudi Arabia, because I think even if we weren't, the fight is probably going to happen there, because I think that's where the most money can be generated for both fighters. So I think the fight will probably happen even if it's next year in Saudi Arabia, even if we can get a crowd. I think it will happen in Saudi Arabia, most likely. And I think I don't think the fight happens in August. That's just my hunch feeling. I don't know though, because maybe the implications on Tyson Fury may not be that huge, and he may just have to vacate the WBC belt. And in that case, I'm pretty sure Hearn, Bob Arum will get around and they'll just say, you know what? Vacate the WBC belt. So what if we're not fighting for the undisputed? It's still a big fight, and it's still be a huge fight. I think Joshua will probably be affected by that a little bit more, because I think it was Joshua's goal to become undisputed, and now he knows that's been a spanner's been put in the works. And what that does is it keeps. Here's the thing. Although on paper, most people, whoever wins that fight between Fury and Joshua will be considered the #1 heavyweight, right? On paper, there will be another champion. So Wilder will be the other champion. So to be honest with you, Wilder, whoever fights Wilder, if Wilder can win, he'll be the WBC champion. So Wilder will still be relevant, and that fight will still be appealing. Wilder was kind of out of the picture. But like I said, with that court case going on, I basically think Tyson Fury is going to have to fight Deontay Wilder or vacate at the least. But like I said, if it's about just vacating, then I think Fury will vacate. That's not a problem, and fight Joshua. And I think Joshua will be happy with that in terms of they'll go ahead with a fight, even though he won't be happy because it won't be for the undisputed. But I think he'll still go ahead with it. However, if there's further implications, it may be out of their hands, like broadcaster issues. You know, Fury may have some legal issues. You know, we just don't know. So this is why I actually think it'll make a lot more sense for Fury to fight Wilder. Because although he's not going to get the kind of money for fighting Wilder as he would for Joshua, it's still going to be a big payday. It's against a guy that he dominated last time round. I'm pretty sure he's confident of dominating him again. So for me personally, I don't know why Fury is going to get a huge payday fighting Deontay Wilder. And then if he beats him, then it sets up the AJ fight. The only worry that I would be worried about is AJ. Because AJ has to fight Alexander Usyk, and that's a very tough fight, as far as I'm concerned. And as far as Joshua's concerned, I actually think, for me, personally, looking at it, I think that's a very dangerous fight. I actually think that's a very, very dangerous fight for Joshua. And that could definitely put a spanner in the works, because if Joshua was to lose again, you know, that's that for me. So yeah, man, it's really frustrating, and hearing that you know, this is potentially going to be an issue. But let's see. The next coming days will obviously tell us a bit more. I think when Hearn comes out and gives an interview, we'll get to know a little bit more. But again, he'll obviously know what the legal implications are, and he'll probably tell us whether the fight's happening or not. But the fact that they weren't signing the contract, for me, because what you got to understand, if he signed the contract, then all of a sudden now you're... I personally think they were waiting for what was going to happen in that court case. Because if he signs a contract, then you're in a contract with AJ as well, and then you could be, you know, you could be sued by him. So there's a lot of things right now that could be up in the air. There's a lot of things that maybe Eddie Hearn will come out and you know, clear them up. But yeah, we need to wait and see what happens. I'm like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all unfolds. But right now, it's a kick in the stomach, because for British fight fans, because it looks like Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is off. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.